Investment advisory services are offered through Fusion Capital Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The firm only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. SEC registration is not an endorsement of the firm by the Commission and does not mean that the advisor has attained a specific level of skill or ability.
Welcome to Navigating Retirement with Rick Durkee.
Good day, Rick Durkee with you here for another edition of Navigating Retirement. Thanks for joining us here today. And hey, I got a topic today that a lot of people think about. They think about making sure they got enough money to go from day one when they finally flip that switch from earning income to receiving income from their investments, their retirement, all the way through the rest of their life. Now, it's a big concern for some that maybe feel that they haven't saved enough. But today, we're going to talk a little bit about what we can do to plan to address that number one fear of savers and investors of running out of money. As you exit your working career, let's make sure that your plan is solid, that it's in place, and that you're going to have plenty of paychecks in retirement instead of paychecks once we retire. Okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about how to avoid running out of money. We're going to talk about some risks today that you may face if you don't do the proper planning up front. So first of all, we're going to stress this again. We must have a plan before we make these decisions that, hey, is it right time to retire? Do we have an income plan that says that we don't have any income gaps, which would be a difference between your expenses and your revenues, that there be a little bit less money coming in on the revenue side than your expenses. And so what we really want to do with that income plan is we want to make sure that we can address what issues we may face in retirement and make sure that we're spending the money that we want to in retirement with confidence. Confidence is key. What's worse, the day that you run out of money or the years leading up to it? Hey, I know that could be very stressful. We might be turning back the dial on how much money we're taking out. But the key is that we want to make sure that we have confidence in retirement. It provides us a quality of life. We know that we've developed our life savings, and now the objective is to make sure that those monies last as long as we need them to be there for us. Now, we should have certain behaviors in retirement to have this confident retirement plan, okay? And the article that I'd like to discuss with you right now is 10 things retirement savvy people do differently that are doing their retirement planning. This is by Chris Hogan, and Chris shares with us that number one reason is that people understand that their income is the biggest wealth building tool. Okay. Number two is they make a monthly budget and they stick to it. Number three, they invest 15% of their household income. Number four, they have a long-term approach to investing. Number five, they have the plan and they update it as needed. We say at the Coastal Financial Planning Group, we should meet at least one time a year to update that retirement income plan. And remember, you develop that retirement income plan not when you go into retirement, but about 5 or maybe even 10 years before. So we can make sure we're doing some proactive planning and have everything lined up for retirement. Hey, number 6, work together with your spouse. If you're married, you certainly want to make sure that you're making these decisions together. Okay, number 7, they don't borrow from their 401k plans during their working years. They let that money compound at interest. Number 8, they buy long-term care insurance. One of the biggest risks in retirement is your health. It's not for you because you'll be just using up the funds, but what's going to be left for survivors? What's going to be left for your wife? What's going to be left for your children in the estate plan? So make sure, remember here, these are what retirement savvy people do. Okay. Number 9, they live below their means. Okay. So I've got a lot of clients that come to me and they're very proud saying, I get by pretty easily. I paid off my mortgage early. I only have to pay the taxes and insurance. I have a low grocery bill. I don't do a lot of traveling. So they live below their means and they save while they're going into retirement. But the key here is that, you do shift a little bit of income, once you retire. And there's kind of some phases in retirement that you go through. First phase is spend a lot, first 10 years of retirement. Second phase is spend a little bit less, slow down a little bit. Your health as you're aging, you slow down a little bit, lot less travel. And then the third phase is that question mark of how long will I be here? But that's when healthcare fits in. And that's where, remember, we need to have that long-term care insurance to make sure that we're going to protect our loved ones. So we don't use up the estate. Hey, final top 10, what the retirement savvy do for their retirement plans. They meet regularly with a financial professional. You could do that with the Coastal Financial Planning Group when you call us at 735-5065. That's 843-735-5065. And we'll set up an opportunity for you to come in, develop a retirement income plan, and help you get lined up for being one of those retirement savvy investors. Now, okay, let's go back to today's topics from our article there. Let's talk a little bit about the risks, issues, and opportunities of retirement planning. Remember that reason that we were a little bit concerned that we might run out of money? Now, I would like to make one quick point here. Some of you listening today say, he's way off base, man. I got all kinds of money that I saved in my 401k and my IRAs. There's no way I'll spend this money down. Well, you might if it's in those 401ks and IRAs, because remember what? The government requires that you take out a required minimum distribution. You may have to take that money out in your lifetime. And if we spend it down too fast, it could run out. So everybody needs to pay attention to the fact that certain buckets of money could run out. But most importantly, they're the buckets that provide you income in retirement. Now, let's talk about withdrawing money out too early. That's a risk. That's called withdrawal rate risk. How much should we take out? What rate? Typically, over time, history has shown us through financial planning models and rules that 4% was typically the safe withdrawal rate. Today, we see with people living longer and also market volatility, like we're all experiencing right now, that our withdrawal rate should be closer to 2%. Now, I don't know about you, but if I saved $1 million and I can only take $20,000 a year out because I'm worried that I'm going to run out of money in retirement, I don't think that's too fair. I'd be finding some alternatives for ways that I could invest, that I'd have my income taken care of first, and then my investments would create my liquidity and future money that I could grow. Okay, let's talk about a couple other risks and issues, okay? Big expenses late in life. If we run into larger expenses later in life, it could potentially reduce those income buckets that we have set up called liquidity buckets for emergencies, for a new roof on the house. Maybe we wanted to use that money for a trip or something down the road, and something happens and we have to use that liquidity bucket. We need to make sure we have always got liquidity in retirement, because one thing constant in life is there's always these risks and issues that pop up, and some of them may not be expected if we don't do proactive planning and have a retirement income plan in place. And review it, remember, with your financial planning firm. Coastal Financial Planning Group is available to take you through that process and develop your retirement income plan. Okay, couple other risks, your reduction of income. Maybe interest rates fall if we're dependent on interests from bank products. Maybe yields are reduced on bonds. Maybe here's one that people oftentimes don't think. What if one spouse dies? Okay, well, automatically that survivor spouse is going to maybe be working with a minimized pension that continues on for the surviving spouse. Probably the surviving spouse is now going to get a cut in Social Security benefits because they were living off of 2 Social Security payments, and now you only get the higher of those 2 as one spouse dies. Here's one other thing that people oftentimes forget, and that's that you switch from married filing jointly to filing single when the first spouse dies. This could cause tax issues big time and create reduction of income through paying more taxes. Longevity risk, another issue. Market sequence risk. Hey, that's a show in itself. We'll talk about that again in the future, I'm sure. Inflation rate risk. Hey, the cost of things today don't cost what they cost 20 years ago. Just think back in time. Think about what a gallon of gas costs. Think about what a loaf of bread costs. Think about what a set of tires costs. Everything's gone up. Building costs, transportation costs, everything's gone up. And it's going to continue to go up. Inflation is the silent tax. Don't let it catch you. Talked about taxation. Hey, talked about it even more in detail in our webinar, Taxes in Retirement. You can access that webinar by visiting cfpgroup.biz and click on our available resources and find out more about taxation in retirement. We're all concerned about the future of taxes. And most of us would agree that we feel that taxes are going to go up in the future. It's time for some proactive tax planning. Now, in summary, no one wants to run out of money in retirement. But if we do proper planning, we can get this problem boiled down to a lack of solid planning. If we do proactive planning up front, we've got that retirement income planning tool that we offer at the Coastal Financial Planning Group set up for you. We monitor that on an annual basis. We set it up 5 years at least before you even retire, and we make sure and monitor it all the way through the rest of your life. We've got all of the roadblocks that possibly could step in your way all set up and proactively planned for so that you can sit back and relax. You're not going to run out of money if you've got a structured retirement income plan. Hey, that's what I got time for today. I encourage you to call us, 843-735-5065. Set up an initial appointment with us. We can do it on Zoom. We can do it on the phone. We can also have you here in our office here in Charleston. Hey, we're available in many different ways, and we make ourselves available to those of you that listen to us and need our help. So we look forward to hearing from you, 843-735-5065. And I look forward to seeing you again on our next edition of Navigating Retirement.
Catch more of Rick Durkee and Navigating Retirement by visiting cfpgroup.biz.
While we believe the information in this broadcast is reliable, we cannot guarantee its accuracy. Opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and are not intended as investment advice or solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Please consult your financial professional before making any investment decisions. Investment advisory services are offered through Fusion Capital Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration is not an endorsement of the firm by the Commission and does not mean that the advisor has attained a specific level of skill or ability. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Third-party rankings and recognition from rating services and publications do not guarantee future investment success. Working with a highly rated advisor also does not ensure that a client or prospect will experience a higher level of performance. These ratings should not be viewed as an endorsement of the advisor by any client and do not represent any specific client's evaluation. Generally, ratings, rankings, and recognition are based on information provided by the advisor. Please contact the advisor for more information regarding how these rankings and ratings were formulated.